Hi everyone, my name is Brian. I'm a business development analyst here at Perfectly Posh. Today I'm going to talk about an Excel tool that I've built to help leaders at Perfectly Posh develop their teams and their companies. Before we get started, I just wanted to preface this training with a few things, a few key pointers. One, this is meant to be a tool to help you develop your team and your company. It's in no way a guarantee of rank advancement, or anything of the sort. This is meant to just be a tool to help you. It's not a promise by myself, the business development department, or Perfectly Posh as a company that if you reach certain team recruits or team size or company size that you will hit the next rank advancement. There's a lot of different factors that come into play for your success, such as the way you manage a team, how many people you have in your team, market factors, as well as how much each person is selling on average. So there's a ton of different factors that play into rank advancement. Like I said, this is just meant to be a tool to assist you in developing a strong team. Also, there's going to be a lot of people out there where Excel really intimidates them. I totally understand where you're coming from, but you can learn the same way that I learned, is just by doing it. This training is meant to just go over this tool overall so that you can use it in your business. So please, if this tool isn't for you, you don't have to use it. And if you decide not to use it, it doesn't mean that you're a failure or anything like that. It just might not be for you. With that being said, I would like to thank all of you for all of the hard work and dedication that you put into your business. It means a lot, and we at Home Office really appreciate it. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the training. So right now we're looking at a downline of a bunch of data. This is all fake data that I just built for this presentation. It doesn't represent anyone in the company. These are all fake ID numbers, fake join dates, etc. So this is just fake data. So that being said, this is the data that we're going to need in order to run this analysis. So this is your atypical downline, but there are a few columns that are missing that I deleted on purpose, such as the phone number, the address, and the birth date. Those fields are not fields that we need. I will show you how to delete a field if you need to. For your own downline. So right now I'm this little black arrow represents the whole column. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to go to delete, and what that's going to do is it's going to delete that whole column. So in your case it'll delete each column that you select. So you're going to select the address, the phone number, and the birth date individually, and then go ahead and delete those columns. So right now I'm going to copy and paste this whole downline. There's a few different ways that you can do this. One way is you can just click and drag all the way across, or you can do Control Shift right key and then Control Shift down, and that'll highlight everything that we need. In this specific one, we're not going to use this upper row, just because that's already accounted for in the tool itself. I'm going to right click and press copy. Keep in mind that if it doesn't show up in this gray color, that you don't have it highlighted, and whatever cell you are currently on is what will be copied. With that being said, I'm going to go to this analysis tool. I'm going to go through each of the key features of this tool, but first I am going to that data right here. So I'm going to click right on level. I'm going to right click and then go to paste values. And then you won't have to do this on your, keep that in mind. So right now there's this little thing that appears in this area or to the right hand side saying processing and then a percentage. And what that means is it's processing what you asked it to process. So by pasting this stuff, I have a bunch of calculations and stuff to the left and right hand side that we are going to go over that it does automatically. There are a few things. One, this is something to break down where your ranks fall and what percentage of your company is within that rank. So for example, I have one silver premier and their average qualified frontline is 5. I have 6 pink plus 3s, which is 2% of my company, which averages one qualified frontline. This is fake data, so the logic for promotions and that kind of stuff isn't going to tie out for this downline, but it will for your downline as a Perfectly Posh consultant. So this kind of breaks down how many people you have in each one. So for example, if I saw this breakdown, there's a big jump between 60 people in pink and what's in pink plus 1. So I might want to, work with some proteges and some pinks to move them up to pink plus 1, pink plus 2, pink plus 3. So just you would have a pipeline of people that you could keep developing into your next group of premiers. These are KPIs. These are just a few key indicators that I would suggest keeping your eye on in your business. This is your qualified frontline, which means they're doing $200 or more in personal volume, and that's 231 people in your company, which is 79%. Paid on team means that they're doing $500 or more in personal volume, which is 157 people, which is 54% of your company. So these are some good indicators of where you might need to work with your team. For example, if my team, if only 5% were qualified frontline, I might have to focus on working with people to do home parties and specific techniques to do home parties in order to do that. In order to fix that situation, Recruits, 291 recruits, which means that you increase your team by 100%. This will be a more realistic number when you plug in your information. Specified criteria is something that I'll get to a little bit later. This also calculates how many people earn the monthly award, which is down here, and we'll talk about that in a second. This is earning tiers. I thought it might be a good idea to kind of break down how much people are making and in what section they're making it in, where your personal volume is kind of lumped. So in this case, people between $25 and $0 is 10 people. People between $50 and $25 is 4 people. People in between $75 and $50 is 10 people, etc. So you're going to go all the way down and you're going to see this. So that means that there's going to be 0 people producing $1,001 or more. So that's what that reference is. This is just kind of going through an example of some of the other things that you can do with this Excel sheet. So one thing in particular that I would like to talk about are these different calculations down here. So this goes through the monthly award. You can click on, if it's a number greater than 0, then that means that they met the criteria for the monthly award. So you could uncheck this, and then if there was a 1, 2, 3 there, you could check all of those and then just press OK, and that would show you everyone in your downline that earned the monthly award. So I'm just going to click it back. Life PV, what that is it is total lifetime PV divided by the amount of months that they've been with Perfectly Posh. This is the total months that they've been with Perfectly Posh. The team average PV is the total team volume divided by the total team size. Company PV is the same calculation, except it's total company volume divided by company size. The front line is the total amount of personal recruits that they currently have in their downline. The average PV is the average personal volume that each of their frontline are producing. And then it goes on to specify how many team members that they would need within a range to reach the criteria that they need to rank advance to the next level. So for example, Alicia, her next rank advancement is, in order to hit Pink Plus One, which is $2,000 per month, she will need between 6 to 13 people. That 6 to 13 people is actually based on what her team average is, which is $318. So the lower number is 6, so 6 times 318 and 20 cents would be the 2,000 necessary to hit Pink Plus One. Also, the higher number is taken into consideration with just a straight up dollar amount per person of $150, which is right here. So that goes over the rank advancement for every single person for each rank. One other thing that I added is this day 15, day 30, day 60, day 90. Those are the prop dates of when that should be complete. The specified criteria by you to be able to isolate certain people within your team. So let's say that for this month I'm running a promo where I am saying, okay, anyone that hits $500 in PV and 2 recruits get this incentive. So that being said, I went ahead and plugged these numbers in. So basically you're just going to click on these cells right here and plug in whatever you want. So I can do average PV, which is average PV per person, excluding the person whose downline it is. Personal volume of each person, how many recruits, the team size, the qualified frontline they have, number of frontline they have, months that they've been with Perfectly Posh, and average dollar amount for their frontline. So you can search on a bunch of criteria. So if you're, not only did you run an incentive $400 or $500 in PV and 2 recruits, but let's say that you also had that everyone needed to have at least 2 or more qualified frontline. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and have this sheet calculate. And while that is going on, that number right there is what it is calculating percentage-wise, the completion percentage. So right here, I'm going to go back to this criteria and be able to go to true. So anyone that met that specified criteria of the $500 in PV, 2 recruits, and 2 or more qualified frontline will answer true within that section. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK for that. There is only one person that met that specified criteria, which is Christine. So that would be the person based on the criteria of the $500 in PV, 2 recruits, and 2 qualified frontline. We would give her that incentive. So that is that. So I'm just going to unfilter this by going back and selecting all. It might go to that not responding thing again, but it'll finish. So we are going to go over one final thing, which is this right here. What this is let's say that I'm averaging $500 in PV per person. That might be a hard number to maintain the larger your team gets. So you might want to build in a buffer both for your company and your team. So let's say that I want to do a 20% buffer and with an average of $150 for the team. And I'm going to do the same thing for the company. And then I'm going to go and just have this calculate again. Once that's finished calculating, based on this criteria, we're going to get a range of people that they would need in their company in order to rank advance to the next level. So using Alicia again, and those averages, she's going to need between 8 to 13 people. Anything in blue usually has formulas and that kind of stuff. So I personally wouldn't mess with that. And anything in orange is stuff that you can enter your own data in. So for example, you might be doing, different analysis and stuff of your downline, and you might click on something by accident and erase the formula or modify the formula. This is one of the formulas for this cell, so you can see how complicated it can get, and it doesn't take much to throw off a whole formula if we are not careful. I've definitely done that before, where I modified a formula on accident and had to go back and fix it. One other thing with regards to that is if you modify it, one of two things might happen. One, it might not calculate the formula at all, or it might give you a result that's not what it's supposed to be. So it could be misleading. So for example, if I entered something in to this formula that changed the formula, it might say something on the lines of, oh, they only need 22 people to reach Premier based on their numbers. Well, that's not the case, because I entered something in that modified the formula itself. That's pretty much all I have to say about this Excel training. The last thing that I would like to specify with regards to this is this is just meant to be a tool, and I don't have the capacity to answer software questions about Excel or certain questions that you might have about formulas and that kind of stuff. I just don't have the capacity to be able to do that. However, I am more than happy to answer specific business questions that you have with regards to the logic of this formula, of this spreadsheet. For example, why does the 15, 30, 60, and 90-day props matter? Well, it's a great indicator of how to build your business, and it gives you deadlines for each person, so you don't have to manually go in and figure out what that date is. So I hope this spreadsheet is really helpful for you. I hope that you can use it in your business, and that it'll be very beneficial for your team building and company building for that matter. One more thing that I would like to talk about. This is a different tool altogether. This, from what I understand, we originally had the ability to just click a button and readily email a list of people. We changed systems, and there's been transition within the company that we needed to go through. So that isn't available for the time being. So I just wanted to build kind of a Band-Aid to help you do that. So instead of having to copy and paste a bunch of emails and then have it be in the correct format, I just built this thing for you. So let's just say that my address is bur@perfectlyposh.com. So, and then let's say that I have another person that I wanted to email at booyah@perfectlyposh.com. So you're not going to have to do this because it's automatic. It should be automatic for you, but I'm just going to have it recalculate. What it's going to do is it's going to populate both of these emails in the correct format so that you can just copy and paste it into the to field of your email. So this might not be something that you'll use if you only have a few emails, but if you're emailing a few hundred people, it would save you quite a bit of time instead of having to copy and paste a bunch of emails. One thing that I would be aware of is there's a lot of email servers out there that will only allow you to have a certain amount of emails per person, meaning if you have more than 20 recipients, it might flag you as spam. So you might just have to email groups of 20, but even still, this should save you quite a bit of time. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you all have a great day.